Now, long-term fans of Outsiders will remember this show was born the night Donald Trump won the 2016 election 7 years ago. Well, as we head into 2024, it looks increasingly likely, as, by the way, I predicted on the show over 9 months ago, that bar any mishaps, Donald Trump will be the next US president, possibly even from behind bars. Indeed, in what is a dead giveaway as to how terrified the Democrats and the loony left are, many left-wingers in America are already asking, what will the return of Donald Trump to a second term look like?
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president because if he is...
You can't imagine the things that he's going to do.
That means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Führer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
To rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass internment camps.
Mass internment camps, shooting the First Lady. Oh, and more violent than the violence that never happened. Right, got it. OK, these people are completely deranged, but they're not alone. Please ignore all the fools from both the left and the right who are so panicked by the thought of a return of Donald Trump. The question is often posed in politics. Ask yourself, were you better off 3 years ago or 4 years or whatever than you are now? Well, the same question can be asked of the entire planet. Was the world better off 4 years ago during the presidency of Donald Trump? You bet it was. You better believe it. Take Russia. Having begun its aggressive military expansionism under President Barack Obama, Putin behaved himself during the Trump years, only to re-embark on his Greater Russia conquest project, having been convinced of American weakness and cowardice, thanks to Joe Biden's ham-fisted and botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. Indeed, The Spectator Australia 3 years ago, after Biden was elected, our cover story by David Adler and cover image by Sarah Dudley and Ben Davis accurately predicted the death of peace throughout the world under Biden and Kamala. The Trump haters all sneered at us, but we were right. Emboldened by the Afghanistan fiasco, despots and warmongers around the world seized their chance. Russia invaded Ukraine, and of course also emboldened by the billions of dollars Biden offered for hostage releases, Iran took the message and orchestrated Hamas's deadly invasion and hostage-taking and rape and murder of October 7th. The danger is that the third member of the axis of evil, China, may also feel emboldened within the next 12 months to pursue its own military aggressive agenda. Peace nixed, indeed. Terrific work, Joe Biden and the left. Before Joe Biden, under Donald Trump, Sunni Arab countries were prepared to enter into meaningful peace treaties with Israel. Under Trump's extraordinary Abraham Accords, the greatest hope, I believe, for Israel and for the future of the Middle East is Donald Trump returning to office. That would be the best Christmas present America could give the world 11 months from now. So I'm in a positive mood as we head into the summer holidays. To quote Paul McCartney, it's getting better all the time. Or as John Lennon quipped, it couldn't get any worse. Speaking of John Lennon, we have a segment here on Outsiders that we call Instant Karma. This is what happens whenever crazy woke lefties, or Islamist terrorists for that matter, get what's coming to them. Here's a member of the Turkish parliament, 54-year-old Hasan Bitmez, a fundamentalist Islamist who, after railing about Israel will feel the wrath of God, well, just after he left the podium screeching about Jews, whom some say are God's chosen people, poor old what's-his-face was struck down with a heart attack.
Tarihin azabından kurtulsanız, Allah'ın gazabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Birleşime 20 dakika ara veriyor.
Yes, looks like God listens to preachers after all.
Instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you off your feet.
Instant calm, disgracefully. And sadly, the guy did die, but there you go, that's what happens. Disgracefully, the Labor government of Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong this week completely betrayed Israel and the Jews, Australian Jews, yet again, by voting in the United Nations for an unconditional ceasefire with Hamas, much to the approval of The Guardian and all the usual anti-Zionist suspects, the ABC and so on. In doing so, Australia went against our two most important allies, the US and the UK. Worse, Albanese and Wong had us deliberately aligning with the likes of Iran, Afghanistan, and other such human rights luminaries. You can judge a country, or more importantly, a government, by the company it keeps. Let me reiterate what is now crystal clear. At every single opportunity, whenever presented with a choice between the interests of Israel or the interests of the Iran-backed terrorist-supporting pro-Palestinian anti-Jewish forces at large in the world, Labor has at every occasion chosen the latter. The Liberal Party, under Peter Dutton, has always favoured the former. Another reason every person who holds dear the existence and the values and the heritage of Israel and the Jews must, at the next election, vote for Peter Dutton and the coalition, or One Nation, but not for the Teals, who are all over the place on Israel, not for Labor, the great betrayers, and certainly never, ever, obviously, for the Greens. By the way, just to show how stupid Wong and Albanese and the rest of them are, by voting for a ceasefire, which won't happen, by the way, they are voting by definition for the possible survival and perpetuation of the evil Hamas regime. The very regime that, as Sharon Haskell said to us earlier in the show, many Palestinians in Gaza themselves are desperate to be rid of. Here's just some of them, and you won't see this footage on the ABC.
أنه قرار سلم خلاص معي هبل هذا اللي بيسويه هبل قتل شعبه السنوار قتل شعبه اللي دمروا البلد واللي ابو العبد انت اكبر حنين ويا هذا